Abandoned frat house. There are those rare moments in life that can completely change your outlook on the way the world works. In finding the Pike House of San Marcos, we discovered one of those moments. We will never, ever forget that place. First of all, let us tell you what we heard. In San Marcos, there was a huge abandoned building near a place with the creepy name of Purgatory Creek. People said it was originally an insane asylum that had sat empty for some time, haunted and deserted, until the Pi Kappa Alpha fraternity turned it into a frat house back in the 60s. At some point during one of the fraternity's hazing periods, legend has it, a pledge or pledges were killed carrying out some ritual. The story goes that the brothers had the pledges write down the events that night in their pledge books, then burn them, and finally nail them to the wall. The house is supposed to have been abandoned since then, even more haunting than before. But anyone brave enough to venture inside the very dark, very spooky old place might still find the burned pledge books nailed to the wall. Bloody handprints and splatters there too. Crime scene tape and Polaroid pictures. Now, stories like this are fairly common, and when we first heard this one, we were skeptical. We heard too many exaggerations about such places and thought that the legends of the Pike House might just be another prop. But we had some good directions to the house, so we decided to check it out. Once in San Marcos, we found the place easily. When we rounded a curve in the road and first saw it, our jaws dropped and our eyes flew wide open. We couldn't believe it. The place was incredible, even from a distance. Huge, decrepit, creepy. It sat back from the road, looming above a huge green expanse of lawn right in the middle of a very nice suburban neighborhood. We found a place to park just outside the corner, but a really neat little park called Wonder World, which incidentally had an anti-gravity house, a fault-line cave, and an observation tower. There were no trespassing signs posted all around the old frat house, but in the time that we were there, we saw many neighborhood people cut across the lawn during their afternoon strolls and even ride their bicycles around the grounds. Nobody seemed to be bothered by our checking the place out. In fact, we got several friendly smiles and waves from neighbors who were out tending their lawns or playing with their kids. As we circled around the house, we noticed that one of the boards had been torn off a window and lay propped against the wall beside it. The window stood wide open like an invitation. There was just no way on earth we could resist, so we went in. This place was dark, very, very dark, and very creepy. We went through a doorway on the left and found ourselves in a big, dim room with a collapsing ceiling. The first thing we noticed was that the fraternity crest on one wall, then faded Pi Kappa Alpha symbols on another. It was a frat house. We were pretty excited to find that part of the legend to be true. We spent a while wandering carefully through the place. It wasn't easy because it was super dark in there, but as we went from room to room, our excitement grew. Lo and behold, we saw many faded smears and handprints, which could be considered bloody looking, we suppose, on the walls. There were also coils of yellow caution tape strewn around several different rooms. We were more and more thrilled with every step. Slowly, all the pieces of the legend were coming together in front of our eyes. We began to realize how jaded and cynical we had become after finding generally creepy places. Discovering this one reminded us why we loved doing this. But the best was yet to come. In a kitchenette, we found the words, "I'm sorry," scrawled below a skull. And in an adjoining room, the wall was decorated with splatters and smeared handprints, accompanied by the message, "Help me." Then in a hallway, we discovered a Ouija board, hand-drawn on a built-in shelf. This place just kept getting better and better. We saw more caution tape and smeared handprints on the stairwell and considered going upstairs to explore the upper levels. But we thought better of the idea because of the state of the ceilings in most of the rooms, which were seriously collapsing. So we exited the house and went back out into the stifling heat. We were still pretty exhilarated from our jaunt inside when we ducked under the porch to check it out. We turned in a corner and we stopped dead by what we saw. There, under the porch, was what looked like part of the basement. In great googly movement, there were the burned pledge books, nailed to a wooden beam. Our hearts started pounding. We couldn't believe that they actually existed. They were black and stained and had obviously been there a very long time. We stood staring in awe for a few minutes before emerging back out into the sunlight. We never located the rumored Polaroids, but finding the crazy old place, the caution tape, the handprints and blood smears, and the pledge books themselves, well, it was more than we ever expected. We even found out that the place has been used as a hospital in the past, not a mental hospital, but a hospital nonetheless. It reminded us how many genuine mysteries still exist to be uncovered out there. This has to be one of the best places we have ever explored. Hands, bloody ones, down. Got it.